Good evening, gentlemen. It's Thursday night, it's 10 o'clock, and it is the 1st of September. 2/3 of the year gone already. Where did it go? Well, let's hope that the final third is an improvement on the other two. This year's got better as it's gone on anyway, and many of you, including me, will be thinking of travelling to the Far East, Southeast Asia before the end of the year. It's coming up to that time of year now, so let's get it on. Can't wait. Okay, so I'll just say good evening. I have a guest coming on the show tonight, by the way. Let's have a look at who's in the chat. Martin Ryder, good evening. Wells 32, Wayne M. David Coleman. Let me see. Arthur Labon. Martin Ryder, Eddie is finishing off Lisa. I think Lisa must have gone AWOL. She's probably having a Gambian sandwich. No one here. Gemini Star. Let's see. These are a lot of the same comments here. Paul Hoskin. Hello, Paul Hoskin. David Coleman. I hope Eddie has a real Wonga on tonight. That'll be fun though. You have to get one of them on one of these days. Arthur Lobon, Eddie's finished after 2 bottles of spirit, trying to work out how to get into the run before the stream starts. Do you know what? That's the most truthful thing I've heard all day. Let's see. David Coleman, Leeds. Martin Ryder, Eddie's just bashed one out to a picture of Caroline Monroe. Okay. How do you know I haven't got the real thing? McLaren F1 race, that's Clive. Barry from EastEnders, hello. Kipax. Jeffrey Wood, Bernard Purcell, happy as Larry, Robert Hale, Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Who needs Gambia when you got Paul Hoskins' apartment? Okay, I don't know if you know this, but my 20 stone wife is being knocked off by Paul Hoskin, and like, you know, she said this is bigger than mine. Well, good look, you know, whatever, mate, you know, whatever. I just want to request, Paul, you know, please don't send it home again. Okay, Joseph Darach, Jet Hopper, Dutch Farang, Bottle Baby, Kipax, he's a ladyboy guest. No. Let me see. Ginger Joe, welcome to the autumn, Ed. Well, September the 1st is not really the start of the autumn, not just yet. September can be quite a nice month in England, even October sometimes. I usually love this time here. In fact, this particular week is traditionally been my favorite week of the year, because it is the week when my summer working season is over with and I start traveling in September and I go away in the winter, all this kind of stuff. Well, I'm not, things have changed this year, circumstances. I think I've already been away 5 months this year, 4 in Thailand and 1 in Romania. But my travel is not happening right now. I'm actually going to a rather boring patch right now. But I can't wait for November. I really can't wait for November. I can't wait. And I know a lot of people, including my guests, have got flights booked to Bangkok. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be an exciting time. Let's see. Okay. Let me see now. Did they go into Yogi Bear? Are they going to try and get the Artemis up again on Saturday? Perhaps my guest can tell you something about that. He knows about that sort of thing. Capo 17, yeah, okay. Cats and Good Coffee, Donald Trump. Good evening, Ed, your local president in the house. Sean Harris, Karen Farang from the jungle. Let me see, Popcorn. Good evening, Ed. Looking forward to the show. Yeah, nice to hear from you, Popcorn. Gonzo, Alistair Taylor, and let me see, Singapore Dan. I think we just got there, haven't we? Jeffrey Wood. Who's this? Jeffrey Wood. Ladyboy show is on a Newcastle in a couple of weeks to whet the appetite. Okay, you're into that sort of thing. Nothing against it. S travels 4K. Look like you're losing weight. Oh no, come on! You're only just saying that. I went to Weatherspoons today, and I had a couple of beers and a nice beef margins curry with all the works, naan bread and poppadoms, all that kind of stuff. I mean, did a little bit of exercise, not much. But I think what does eventually make as you know, I like a beer. If you get into the habit of drinking this Coors Light, okay, it's a bit weak, but the lesser calories and that does all add up in the long run. I'm not going to answer that. Let me see. Jeff and I said, Martin. Okay, Sean Harris. Where have you gone? Where have you gone, Sean Harris? Is that the Bride of Frankenstein in your T-shirt, Elsa Lancaster? Yeah, it is. I like Elsa Lancaster. I like the Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, so we'll get me guest on now. Anyway, so many of us are looking forward to traveling to Thailand and other places this winter time. And my flight is a couple of months away. My guest is also heading out there pretty soon. He's as excited as everybody else is. The end of this year is going to be a lot better than the beginning. So get my guest on. It is the man with the hat, the one, the only, the legendary Big Dave from California. Yes, he's been on the show several times before. So welcome him anyway. So say hello, Dave, anyway.
So who can guess what this hat is?
Well, it looks very. Is it Indiana Jones? No, it's not Indiana Jones. Is it
No.
Is it a fedora?
No. This is from Australia. This is an original bush hat. This is an akubra.
Yeah, an akubra, and it looks very, very nice.
I bought this in Australia.
Is that the kind of hat if you dropped it in the mud, you could wipe the mud off easily, or is it?
I think it's real felt. I paid $100 for this.
Yeah, really. It looks very, very nice, Dave. Look, very, very nice. Okay, so Dave's the man with the hat. He has a variety. He's well traveled. He's traveled a lot of places, and he likes collecting hats. And who can blame anyway? He looks very, very fine. Here I am, Dave, with my old tacky T-shirt. I've had this conversation with people before. I have this and apparently I'm not unique in this. Do you know what? I haven't bought any new T-shirts or clothes for many, many years, right? And the reason for this is because I always kid myself. I always say, well, I'm going to lose weight. And like in a few months' time, I'm going to be 3 stone lighter then than I am now. So what's the point of buying clothes? I'll wait until I'm 3 stone lighter, and then I'll buy myself new clothes. And somehow it never happens. I'm not alone in this. Apparently that's quite a common thing now. You know what I mean? So I'll just have a little look at the chat a moment.
Earl Grey tea.
Earl Grey. Oh, sorry. I don't drink tea. Coffee with me.
Wine.
Okay, let me see. Someone said Mick Dundee. Danish bacon, nice hat, needs corks. Let's see. Why fuels? Oh, you bunch of whatever. There's always I don't have moderators on this chat. We know how to deal with them anyway. But let's see. Live Utopia. David Coleman. Why is one? This is David Coleman from Toronto. Why is one side of the hat not pushed up? That looks cool. That looks really, really cool. Okay, a couple more comments. Will Traveller, he likes you. Good to see Dave back on the show. Okay.
Thank you.
That one guy, I paid $100 for a long time. Okay. Pat K. Patriotus one. Dave, good to see you. You tell the truth how it is. I appreciate that. Okay. Let me say the chat's going really, really, really quite fast. Let's see. Martin Ryder, the hat looks like the preacher in Polska. Okay, so we're going to have a little chat anyway. So, Dave, the big question. Are you really, really looking forward to your travels soon? Want to tell us about it?
Because I've been getting updates every day on stuff is changing. So, as I messaged you the other day, it's official. The visa exemption is now extended for 45 days.
Yeah, I think that's great news. It's. I don't know why it's only temporary. Apparently, it only goes until March. It's obviously because Thailand wants to tempt the tourists back. This is what we're going to offer. Do you
Might
think
have
they will
something
make
to
it
do with
permanent?
might have something to do with international regulation or something, but I do want to clear something up because there's always this confusion about people thinking they're getting a visa. When you
Yeah,
land in Thailand, you are not getting a visa. You are getting a visa exemption. You are
yeah,
getting
yeah,
just a free pass to enter the country. If you want a visa, you send your passport off to the Thai embassy, pay the money, you get a visa for one entry for $60.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I think I've said this before, but that form that you fill out on the airplane,
It's gone.
it's gone. It's gone, has it? Right. It was always an annoying thing. When did I have this conversation? Was it last week? I mean, because whenever I'm handed that form, I always think, oh, not this bloody thing again. Okay, where's my pen? And my pen is usually in my luggage, up the top. But I'm not the only one. On the airplane, in the hold all. But I'm not the only one. The next thing you know, everyone's on the planes. Where's a pen? And when I finally get a pen and start filling it out, somebody wants to borrow it and pass the pen on to us. I think, I could do without all of this rubbish.
The bigger problem is when you lose the second half of that form and you're trying to leave the country.
That's never happened to me. I've come close to that, but it's never happened to me.
Actually, a big problem.
Is it really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because they stamp that when you're coming in.
Yeah. It's never actually happened to me. I've always managed to take care of that. But the 45 days, that sounds terrific. That sounds really, really terrific. I'm flying out early November. So 45 days in Thailand will, stretch me up till near Christmas. And then I'm hoping to go to I want to head to Cambodia. But I'm also thinking, wait a minute, I might go to Cambodia a bit earlier. I don't know. I haven't made any plans just yet. All that I have booked is my flight. But I'm pleased to say that my flight seems very, very solid now. I mean, did you find before, Dave, during the pandemic or even as it was coming to an end, did you find that if you booked a flight to Bangkok, you could, at that moment that you booked and it was confirmed on the internet, you couldn't go, yes. I lost all confidence because I thought to myself, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. Whereas now, I'm a bit more confident now.
One, I never did that. I never booked. I patiently waited until May when they decided to drop all that testing and all that BS, and I figured it's safe to go now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd say what I as you know, I went early this year. I did book another flight previously, but it all went pear-shaped. But things I went early this year, and I managed to last a whole 4 months out there. But I mean, what a difference 8 months makes, because that seems like a long time ago when I arrived in Bangkok airport, but that was only 8 months ago. But that seems like very, very dark and very, very gloomy.
Well, you arrived into the pandemic.
Yeah.
Wait till you go in November.
Yeah, the thing is, Dave, I booked that flight a few months earlier, last autumn time, and I booked it last autumn time. I think if I'm right in saying that we thought the pandemic was coming to an end then, and I think it was around about Christmas time. All of a sudden, the news came. It came from South Africa, first of all. There's this new variant, the Omicron variant. I called it the onion variant, and things rapidly went backward again. So. We don't know if that can happen again, but you've got to start being a little bit more confident, and let's hope the past is past. And I mean, I'm not sure what it was like when you were there, but it was really dreadful when I was there. Having these bloody things shoved up your nose. And the reason that I decided to stay in Thailand for the whole 4 months is simply because I was reluctant to try and cross borders or get flights in. I just wanted to do anything to avoid these bloody PCR tests. Because I did hear of quite a lot of people, especially in Pattaya. I heard of a lot of guys who've been dragged off to hospital, or their friend who they were traveling with had been dragged off to hospital because they'd failed a PCR test. And let's not talk to you. I know I'm being a bit depressing here, but let's just hope that that's all behind us, and let's look forward to a more positive.
Let's talk the future.
Yeah.
So I heard that October 1, the mask mandate goes away.
Yeah. Oh, that's good as well.
So you no longer need to wear a mask in the airport or on the BTS or any of that stuff. They're just going to encourage you to wear a mask.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can forget about this and put it behind us quickly. I mean, I kind of got used to them after a while. I think when I made videos, people back in England or America who were watching those videos when I was in Pattaya were quite alarmed, and I didn't think about it really. Why I was making a video on Pattaya Beach wearing a mask? Because I just kind of got used to it. Why was I was wearing a mask when I was in a hotel doing a hotel review? Because after a while you just get used to it, and it's you just get used to it. But let's hope it's. I still see some videos now. I look at videos from a year ago, and I see people doing travel videos, and they're wearing masks then in hotel rooms and all of that. Let's just
look at Japan. Look at Japan. They have the highest COVID infection rate ever of any country right now.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, you think it's gone away. It's not gone away. They have the highest rate of infection in the world right now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well,
they're not open.
They're not. Well, people keep mentioning Japan. I've never actually been there. I'd like to, but I think I'll give it a miss for now. I mean, this winter time, I'm looking at Thailand and Cambodia. To be honest with you, I think the only two places in Thailand I will be going will be Bangkok and Pattaya. I'm more interested in going to Cambodia, really. Because it's been about 3 years since I was last. No, there might even be 4 years.
3.
It could even be 3 or 4 years since I was last there. You see, so
I was there. October 19 was the last time I was in Cambodia.
Yeah, I was. I think I was there at the beginning of that year. Anyway, so it is getting on for 4 years anyway. But I won't be going to Vietnam because I think there'll be enough going on between Bangkok, Pattaya, and the whole of Cambodia. There'll be enough going on there to occupy me for 4 months anyway. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
I think you should take the plunge and finally make it down to Phuket once. Or no, you've been there before, but I think it's time for you to go back.
Well, I have been there before. there before. I went there almost 20 years ago on one of my first visits to Thailand, and I loved it. I went there in the month of January, February, that sort of time, and I absolutely loved it. It was. I stayed close to the Patong area, and the beach was nice. And then I went out to the islands, Phi Phi Island, and all of that. I'd done a day trip to James Bond Island around Krabi Province. And I always want to go back there. Well, I've never been back there since, but when I have been, I did go to Krabi about 6 years ago. And I thought it was, what can I say about Krabi? I felt not really motivated to do a great deal there anymore. I thought it was nice, but not really for me. Not really for me. And I have to say that early this year, I kept on and on until I go to Phuket. But for every good review at Phuket I had 3 or 4 not so good reviews. So I just thought I'll give it a miss anyway. I'll give it a miss.
I mean, you've got Bangalore Road right there. It's basically the twin sister of Walking Street in Pattaya.
Yeah, but I mean, I heard early this year that Bangalore Road was all that it had. I heard it didn't really have much other than Bangalore Road going for it, really.
Yeah, I was there in May and it was pretty dismal, but I'm willing to go back. I'm going back again for 5 nights, and I hear it's a lot more jumping now.
Yeah. Well, so what is it about Phuket? Say we're in Pattaya or Bangkok. What is so good about Phuket that it's got that those other places haven't got? What makes you want to go that way?
To be honest with you, I just get bored in Pattaya. I mean, it's great for 4 or 5 or 6 days, but then I need to move. I just need to get a change of environment. I can't sit there for 3 weeks like other people. I go out of my mind.
Yeah. I must admit, Dave, I stayed quite a long time, a lot longer than I have done before, in Pattaya early this year. And yeah, Pattaya is a big place. It's a huge place. But when you wake up for daytime, it does get smaller and smaller every day. You know, if you stay around the Soibacau area, you wake up for daytime. By the time I finally get out of my hotel room, I have a walk. I walked down one of the sides, the second road, and I walk along the second road, and I walk down the side down to Beach Road. And yeah, it gets smaller and smaller every day. You are right there. I mean, and this is the problem that I have about thinking about retiring somewhere, is that, you know, after a while you want to get away from the place. Yeah, I don't be stuck in the same place really.
Yeah.
But Thai's really, you know, Thai's a great place, but you know, but on this, like I said, I am looking forward to seeing Cambodia again, and really, because I went through a phase for many years where I really, really, really did like that place.
Well, yeah, I've already got that booked, so I'm doing 3 nights in Siem Reap and then 4 nights in Phnom Penh.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds great. So, how do you think you'll be getting to Cambodia? Will you be?
So I haven't. I already booked the flight coming back, because coming back from Phnom Penh is long, and I'm taking the bus from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh because that's only 5 hours.
Yeah.
But getting to Siem Reap, I might do the thing that you did, take that little minibus, because a friend of mine just flew there from Bangkok, but you have to go DMK, Dun Muang, and it takes 6 hours to get up to that airport from Pattaya.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to look. I found the company over there on Second Road that does the runs over to Cambodia. So as soon as I get there, I'm going to see what it costs. And I might do that thing that you did.
I've done that quite a lot of times. You can do it in 9 hours. I mean, from your hotel in Pattaya, the minibus will pick you up, and you know, maybe 8:30. You could be in Siem Reap by 5:30, and then it comes to border. And not only that, David. You're doing this plan on doing this in the month of October, yeah?
End of October, yeah.
Well, that is not quite peak season there, so you will probably find it easier to get across that border. If it's to go in January, you know, there's going to be a lot more tourists there. But the last time I did that trip, I went there around about that time, around about November time, and it was before the pandemic, and I sort of breezed through that. You know, that border crossing without a problem, much quicker than I had done before.
Now, see, I have a friend that owns a bar in Phnom Penh, and he's telling me that it's still really, really light there right now with tourists.
Yeah. Well, it will be. You know, I mean, obviously, things are getting back together. I think come this peak season, I think it will be good. You know, for you know, I think it'll be good. I think, you know, we'll put the past behind us, the pandemic past, and I think it will be all right. The only thing for British people, David, you know, I don't know how things are in America or other countries, but here in Britain, we are constantly being told, brace yourself. We've got the mother of all recessions on the way. We've got fuel, massive energy prices and everything, and everyone's going to be poverty stricken this winter time in England. So I do think a lot of, and plus, you know, maybe a rise in flight prices. I think a lot of British people, British fellas who normally go to Thailand, I think a lot of them might not be going this year. They simply might not be able to afford to go. So there may be less British people, but, you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens anyway.
Yeah, with the inflation and all that stuff, I mean, it could put 10% of the people off.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all as I know is my flight is booked, and it's with a good airline, and it's solid, and I don't see, I'm not dreading getting an email saying, "Oh, Mr. Sweeney, sorry about this, but we've had to cancel you off." And no, I think it'll be okay. I haven't booked any hotels or anything else yet. I haven't booked nothing yet. But
you might get an email, they're canceling your flight for a different reason I won't mention, but it's not going to be because of COVID.
No. Okay. Well, the thing is, my flight's there. It's all booked and solid. And I think we're in September now, okay, so it's a couple of months away before I travel. Pretty soon I'll have that lovely, lovely, lovely experience that I love about traveling. When you have your flight booked and you think it's coming up soon, so I'll have the luxury of piece by piece booking my hotels. I mean, that is a really fun part of traveling there. When you see your flight coming up,
aircraft.
You just get booking.com out or whatever. Oh, I'll look at that one or that one. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty positive.
That airline, you're flying, that's my favorite airline.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't give the game away too, but yeah, I
know no details, but that is my favorite airline. I've used them many times, and they're great.
Yeah. You see, Dave, the reason I don't give my flight or a rival towns, anything like that, I mean, because when I arrive in Bangkok, it's like, the Beatles going there. I mean, there's going to be crowds of screaming girls, with big banners, Eddie, it's going to be big crowds, so I like to slip in quietly, yeah. And if you believe that, you believe anything. Okay. Let me just have a little look at the chat. Arthur Lobon, Eddie, where will you stay initially when you get to Pattaya? I don't know. I haven't booked it yet. Okay. Dutch Farang, I landed straight on Walking Street. Okay. It is a comment, Dave. I'm sure you're thick-skinned enough for this one. Capo 17, Primark has got those hats for £3. There's always one.
Might be true, but I like getting mine at the original place.
Absolutely, I don't blame you. Let me see. Who's this? Doug Penner. Good music in Vietnam. What kind of Vietnamese music? What are you talking about? Well, one thing about the music scene. I mean, there's nowhere that does live bands like Thailand does, is there? I mean, Cambodia and even Vietnam, they don't really have a live band scene, do they? Not to the extent that Thailand does. Even in Phnom Penh, I mean, live music is very, very thin on the ground.
So here's where me and you differ. I don't like that live music at all in Thailand, where they just sing cover songs.
Yeah,
no, it's not my scene.
Yeah. It's good if you get the right bar. It's not to everyone's sake, but if you get the right bar. I mean, one of my favorite places that I went to Thailand, and I made a video of it. And some people thought, "What the hell? I wouldn't want to go to that place." It was in the Lonely Beach in Koh Chang. I can't remember the name of the bar, but Lonely Beach was a very, very young community, and there was a bar there with a live band in it. And I loved it. I went there every night while I was there. I loved it. But when I made a video of it, some people said, Jesus, somebody said to me, I'd rather get a beer out of the 7-Eleven and go and sit on the beach rather than go there. It's not for everybody.
I'm more a fan of Thai Morlong music, the music from up in Isan. That's what I like.
Yeah, okay. So David Coleman. Sweden, no mask, no lockdowns. Their economy is up and running. Okay,
always was.
Yeah, who's this? Duffler, Pattaya, Bangkok, Cambodia. Going for the temples, then Ed. No, I'm going for the spicy food. That's what I'm going there for. Martin Ryder, he's going to the Temple of Happy Endings. Okay, let me see. Who's this? Paul Hoskin. Ed, could you visit the dinosaur museum? Paul Hoskin is knocking off a dinosaur. He's knocking off my 20-stone wife. She's a bloody dinosaur. She's a brontosaurus. She is. Okay. No, this is interesting. Cats and Good Coffee. And Nomad Overseas, make sure you have the very latest booster.
So that's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah, Thailand hasn't required it yet, but I'm watching that.
Yeah. Funny enough, a friend of mine, I was talking to him last night, is going out to the Philippines in November. And he said, you don't need any test anymore. I said, but you do know you've got to have the booster. Now, Cats and Good Coffee is saying the very latest boost. It is something, Dave. Perhaps, do you know this? Because I haven't even really investigated it yet. last year I had 2 inoculations and the booster, so I had 3 of them. Do you think I need any more, or do you think that'll be enough?
For Thailand, Thailand's only requiring the original 2.
Yeah, the original 2. So they don't want to, I mean, I don't know. I haven't even investigated this. I've forgotten about them, really. I mean, do they expire after a year or something? I haven't even checked this out, really.
Yeah, medically they expire, but
yeah. But I mean,
I got confirmation today that Thailand's not even checking your vaccine card when you land. They're just doing random checks.
Okay. Well, one of the things about the jabs, it's still good to carry your paper certificates, the printouts, but they update them every month, don't they? That's what they do in this country. So before you print them out on the, on your laptop, make sure that you've got the latest dates. It may be the same booster for last year, but they do update them every month. So, check that all your documents are.
We don't do that here. We just have a little paper card, and that's all.
Yeah.
That people were selling on eBay at the beginning.
Yeah, it's something for you, Dave. Bertie's Adventures. Bangla is almost back to normal. Best place for me is Rawi.
Rawai, yeah. A friend of mine has a bar in Rawai. That's a cool place.
Where is that exactly? I don't know that one.
It's a little bit of a hike. It's about a 40-minute ride from Bangla Road area.
Is it really?
Take a motorbike.
Yeah. You see, another reason that I didn't go to Phuket early this year is that during the course of my travels, I actually done 4 islands. I done Koh Chang, which I've been quite a few times before, and then I done Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, and Koh Samui. And they were all good islands, but tropical islands, beautiful beaches, beautiful clear water. I mean, who doesn't love that? But the fact is, I mean, once you've seen 3 islands in a row, do you want to see a 4th one, really?
The reason why I'm going back to Phuket is the Royal Paradise is still offering the rooms at practically nothing. That's usually a pretty hip place to stay.
Really?
I got 5 nights for $120.
Jesus, that is cheap, isn't
it? Yeah, that hotel usually costs you $80 up a night.
God, that is so. Can I ask you what site that was on? What site?
I always book on Agoda.
Agoda. Maybe I'm using the wrong one. Maybe I use Booking.com.
They're new. Agoda. I've been using Agoda since they started, like 8 or 10 years ago. They specialize in Asia.
Really? Yeah. $120 for 5 nights. That's approximately £100. That's a 20 quid a night.
That's what I did in May. So when I booked this trip, I said, let's see what the hotel rates are in Phuket. And they had that same offer. So I said, yeah, fuck it. I'm going back to Phuket for 5 nights.
Yeah, that's what kind of room do you get with that? Is that
I just get the standard room,
Yeah.
But it's a 4-star place. I mean,
yeah, and you have your ensuite bathroom and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, this is a resort hotel. I mean, they have pool, bar, everything there.
How about to get to the action, maybe in Bangla Road or wherever? I mean, how far is it?
5-minute walk.
5-minute walk. So you don't need any of those. I've heard the taxis are quite notorious there, aren't they?
It's a mafia. I mean, all those those red little tuk-tuk things. I mean, they all charge 500 up.
Yeah. So, but if it's within walking distance of the town, then that's great.
The Royal Paradise is the tallest building in Phuket. So
Patong, is that the one? Is it also known as Patong Tower?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
It's 25 floors, and they have a big bar and a restaurant up at the top. It's great for sunsets.
Jesus, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? That's how you give me ideas now.
I've looked at that hotel for 20 years, but never wanted to spend the money on it until this year because they're just giving the rooms away.
Yeah, that sounds bloody good. Okay, well, thanks for that information. I'm sure many will be interested in that. Okay, who's this? David Coleman. I have to go to Maya Beach. That's supposed to be very nice.
The beach.
Is it really? Yeah, really. I was on Phi Phi Island many years ago, and that was beautiful. Oh, that was absolutely stunning. And they said that they filmed the beach there, didn't?
No.
No.
It was on Raleigh and Maya Beach over there by Greer Beach.
Yeah, because in every almost every bar and coffee shop and anything that I went in, they were showing that film. Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I personally thought that film was rubbish, but I didn't like it. I didn't like that film.
Not a fan.
Let me see. Okay. Let's see. Paul Hoskin, there's always the most beautiful Thai bar girl you've ever seen waiting for you. Good for you, mate. Good for you.
I got my hotel in where is it? Siem Reap for $14 a night.
Jesus, that's good. Cambodia is still wonderfully good. And Siem Reap is a very, very pleasant place. I always think any town you go in, there's always one word that sums up the place. And I know it might sound a bit namby-pamby, but I always think Siem Reap is pleasant. It's a very, very pleasant town. You go into bars and pub streets, and everything about that place is very, very pleasant. I've been to Angkor Wat a few times. I think I've been there and done that personally.
Well, I'm going back because a buddy of mine just went and he said the whole place is deserted. You get basically the place all to yourself.
Yeah.
Now's the time to see it.
Yeah. You see the things, I tend to go to places now where I think, would be interesting for, to make YouTube videos. The problem with temples is that, they don't always, they're not always a big hitter when it comes to viewing figures, to be honest with you. And I've been to Angkor Wat 3 times. I think that's about enough for me.
Oh yeah, I've only been once, and it was 20 years ago, so I'm going back.
Yeah. Kipax, first went to Maya Bay 22 years ago. Only made a few people on it, unlike now. Okay,
they had it closed for the last couple of years because the tourists were destroying the coral.
Really? Oh, that's dreadful. David Coleman, I can't stay over a week in the same place. Well, I used to be like that, but I do something now which I call it pedestrian travel, which means that I like going to play, but I like spending a longer time there. I do. I mean, I was in Pattaya the best part of 2 months. I think I took 9 days out of that to go to Koh Chang, but I was in Pattaya for the rest of the time, and that's the longest period of time I've spent in Pattaya. And after a while, it did become smaller and smaller every day. Another problem that I would have spending time in Pattaya, even though I really like the place, is that it's not a good place to be making YouTube videos from. I mean, nowadays there's all these bloody rules coming in about data and invasion of privacy, and I wonder if that's really going to kick in. People are going to get nasty about YouTubers going around vlogging. And also Pattaya is basically, it's a red light city. So it's not a place where I want to go around in bars pointing me camera at people, and besides, there's enough of that. And as for YouTube, creative YouTube videos, I mean, I don't think anyone needs more videos walking down Soiba Cow or beach. I think it's all being done. So I'm actually a lot more excited about going to Cambodia personally.
Well, Bangkok Pat, right?
Who?
Bangkok Pat?
Yeah, he's good. He's really, really good.
So here's his latest story as of today. He feels that they're going to turn Thailand into the cannabis place of the world instead of all that sex stuff they want to get rid of and turning into the cannabis center of the world.
Yeah. Well, that would be interesting. I mean, it would be interesting maybe to do the odd video on what the script is with that. Yeah, I don't do that stuff myself personally. I don't even smoke. I don't do any of that. But as for the other side with the red light aspect, well, the repercussions of this are going across the world. I mean, on my other channel, Steady Eddie Live, we were talking the other day about Gambia and all of these, these old ladies who go out there, and Gambia is really trying to clamp down on this. They're really, the authorities are fed up being seen at a place where old grannies go out there for young gigolos. So, this kind of, change in attitude is happening across the world, I think. really.
I watched that special they did on that on Channel 5 or one of those UK channels. I was able to find it, download it.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's hilarious. Those 60-year-olds going down there and
Yeah.
shacking up with those 20-year-old dudes down there and paying, building them houses.
Oh,
getting married.
Christ almighty. Who's this? Martin Ryder. Martin Ryder, 9 hours on the check-in bus. No, it's not that bad. I mean, if you're going from from Pattaya to Siam Reap, 9 hours. I mean, you get off at the border crossing. It's not that bad. I mean, you start off in a minibus, but I think only when you get to the other side in Cambodia, you go on a bigger bus, and the journey is quite colourful. I'll tell you what is worse than 9 hours on a bus. What is far worse? I know another vlogger who was stranded for 9 hours at Phnom Penh Airport because his flight with Lamai Airways was delayed. Being stranded at an airport for 9 hours, that is far. I mean, it's like the old story of the tortoise and the hare. Slow but sure. That's the way I like it. So, I'll do the road journey again. Not a problem.
Yeah, I want to do an experience.
Yeah. Bottle Baby, there is a riverboat from Siam Reap to Phnom Penh. Goes down the river. I haven't done that one. I've done the road journey by
many. Must be overnight.
Yeah. They've improved the roads, haven't they, in recent years? A few years back. So now getting from Siam Reap to Phnom Penh is much better, much easier than it used to be. But I haven't done the riverboat from Siam Reap to Phnom Penh. But what I have done is from Siam Reap to Battambang. Now, Battambang, I didn't think much of it, but that riverboat journey was, that's really, really exciting. It's one of the best journeys that you will do in that part of the year. It's the scenery looks like it's out of the African Queen or something like that. So, I'm looking forward to doing all that again. David Coleman, done a lot of chicken buses in Guatemala. Okay. David Coleman lives in Canada. He's done an awful lot of.
He's in Calgary?
No, he's not. He's in. No, what did I say? What did I just say then? He lives in Canada, and he's in Toronto, but he travels a lot, places like Cuba and Guatemala. Let me see now. Martin Ryder, 17 days ago. There you go. Well done, Martin Ryder is heading out to Thailand. Yeah, a lot of people are heading out there this month, next month.
32 days for me.
Okay, Cats a good coffee. Edward Sweeney, I just told my boss to jump off a cliff and quit my job just to be able to watch your spin. Good for you, mate. I hope it was worth it. Let's see.
I don't have a boss, so that don't work for me.
Okay. What's this? Why feels a pint will be £16. In which countries? It's not the one that I'm going to. David Coleman, Jesus, guys. 1 year to go for me. Yeah, I think David Coleman's retiring in a year's time.
Oh.
Let's see. Who's this? Thailand found, not to be confused with someone else. Good evening, Edenol. Okay. Why fools? Live stream, guys, in the land of smiles. That'll be okay if I meet up with you
last time.
If I meet up with you in the land of smiles, we'll do a live stream together.
Oh yeah, or you can get me on when I'm at my condo or somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe Cambodia.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Anyway, this is Clive. Macron wants to confine the world to their boundaries. What a shame. Okay, there you go. Nice to hear from you, Clive. Who's this? Mark H. Or more British people come in the winter to escape the winter heating bills. That's my plan. Anyway. Well, they're going to be fairly. I just want to get on that plane beginning in November. I really do. Let me see. What's this? Asian Paradise, same in USA, but not as bad as Europe. It's coming through because the West refuses to know. Oh my God Almighty! Oh my God Almighty! We'll do a question. I think you've been in some of the streams on my other channel. One of the things that I've really enjoyed doing recently is Monday and Tuesday nights we do something called the Big Question, and it's not really travel related. But it goes down well in the community that I have on Monday and Tuesday nights. Because what else is going on late at night on a Monday and Tuesday? The community that we have on there is terrific. All the guys get involved in the questions, and it really is. It's a really good fun. But someone asked a question the other night, which I didn't really. I should have made a bit more, but it is a travel question. So we'll do that one pretty soon, if you don't mind, Dave. It's something that you might understand. You might have a lot to say about. Singapore down this coming peak season. Things will be good, but not great as yet. Things will get back to normal once the CCP, that's the Chinese people, travel again.
Yeah. Back to normal for them, not back to normal for us.
Let me see. Now, I know that I've skipped. Someone said I'm reading comments that were posted God knows when. Okay, I'll try and be Mark Ollig, hello to Mark Ollig.
Hey.
If I've missed everybody, if I've missed anyone here, forget about that, because obviously we're chatting and I don't have moderators, so it's a bit of a chat, whatever. Ordinarily, when I'm on my own on a stream, I will try and pay attention to the chat, but obviously sometimes it moves really fast. Okay, let's see. Who's this? Yogi Bear. You're right about the fells, but they not started here yet. So you're on the last booster. Okay, so you're on the last booster. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Why do I feel? Go back to Koh Phangan, Edward, and do some meditation. I think I had enough of Koh Phangan. Have you been there, Dave?
No, I never went there.
It's got a nice beach, and a lot of young people. I mean, I felt it was too old there. I mean, the fact is, I tried to do a live stream from the full moon party. Not that I wanted to go there, but simply because there are some younger people who watch this channel, and they wanted to see a live. But it was a disaster because there was thousands of people there, all using the same signal, and I just couldn't get a signal. So I made a couple of frustrated videos anyway. It's not a bad place, but I mean, islands are wonderful. I mean, who doesn't like tropical islands? But I wasn't over the top impressed with those three islands I went to: Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, and Koh Samui. Maybe because they were still suffering from a bit of the lockdown and they weren't quite what they should have been. But I wasn't mega impressed with them, really. I thought there's got to be better islands out there.
Yeah, but Koh Tao is run by mafia. Yeah.
Well, this is what I heard anyway. As soon as I got there, I mean, I'd done a video about the disturbing aspects of it, murders and all that kind of stuff. And a few people call me for all kinds. Oh, yeah, bloody, what are you doing? That's stirring up all that kind of rubbish for. The reason is because when I was walking along a beach in Koh Tao, I'd done a live stream, and so many people in the chat wanted to talk about the murders. You know what I mean? So I thought, well, I've got to do a video about it. It's a beautiful island, but the thing about that place and Koh Phangan especially, they are you do feel a bit older. They are very, very much for younger people, So I didn't really think any of those islands were places where we'd really want to, retire or spend a significant amount of time. Here we go, Kipax. Finnair cancel my flight for the third time. Just wait for a new flight. Oh, well, sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear.
Well, they can't fly over Russia, so they're screwed.
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thailand bound. Nice to have you, Peter. A Golden is the #1 booking site in Thailand. I think I must be
anywhere in Asia. Use them.
Yeah, I think I must be the last traveller who doesn't use a gold, or maybe I better join in on it. There was we'll just talk very, very, very briefly about this, David. There was this Malaysia Airways had a flight blown out of the sky because they were going over a war zone, weren't they? Yeah, at the time, and it emerged, a few years ago, and it emerged that Qantas. Well, they hadn't been flying over there for 6 months for that reason. So, it's, well.
And guess what? I flew over that same war zone on Thai Airways a month before they shot down that Malaysian.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well. Well, life is full of risks. To reject risk is to reject life.
I'll take a different risk.
Now, let's see. Cats and Good Coffee. There's an American YouTuber called Tim K with a Filipino wife, and they have a video where they wanted to get in the Philippines, and they could not because of not having the latest booster. Okay, well, anyone going to the Philippines may want to take note of that. I just want a nice, simple life. I've got my, certificates, me vaxes from last year, and I'm just hoping for the best. Let me see. Michael Janaeus, Phuket is dirt cheap right now. Is that true? Would you agree with that, David?
Philippines? I don't go there anymore. I went there once, and I don't really ever want to go back there.
No, he's talking about Phuket.
Phuket.
Michael,
yeah,
Phuket.
I mean, the hotels are just giveaways. I'm doing, with the air ticket for $80, $200 for 5 nights with the air ticket.
Jesus, that's terrific. That is terrific. And how about the price of drinks and food and all this kind of stuff?
Oh, they're just very slightly more than Pattaya. Nothing to worry about.
Okay, well, you give me ideas here. You give me ideas. Okay, let's see. Who's this? Phil Roberts. What's the name of that hotel, Dave? I'm going to Phuket in about 6 weeks.
Royal Paradise.
The Royal Paradise. So this is Royal Paradise. So this is the same building as that Patong Towers. It's that building, is it?
Well, I don't know. I've never heard that name, but it's the tallest.
Because it's distinctive. Because it is distinctive. As you say, it's that's what it's known as. I'll check it out.
It's old. It's like 25 years old, but they renovated the rooms a few years ago, so it's not bad for them. I wouldn't pay $80 to stay there, but for the $20, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. It's let me just go. Sorry about all this. If I've I've missed out on people, you must understand. I do usually make an attempt to read the comments out. Okay. John Mitch is here. Latest US to UK exchange rate is $1.16 to UK. Pound. The dollar's strong. They're rocking and rolling, but our bloody pound is just. It's going down. I mean, we like to think, it's not feasible. We would never go the same way as some currencies like Turkey and some other countries. Their currency just collapsed and fell through the floor. I mean, we think the same could never ever happen to the pound, or could it? Jesus Christ, our pound is just losing value big time. Nick Ross. Yes, and the UK pound is about to crash. Oh my God Almighty! Oh my God Almighty! Maybe I better get some dollars soon. Maybe that might be. Oh, I don't know. Let me see. Dreadful. Macadog, Sam Reaping July. Versi Zero Freeland. Make sure you take your own bed. Okay, whatever. Let's see. David Coleman. I stayed at a nice hotel in Havana with a pool on the roof. I'm like a mob boss. Cuban girl in my lap. Have you ever been to Cuba, David?
No, we're not supposed to go there.
Yeah. That was the real. Yeah, David Coleman is from Canada, but yeah, he likes. I went to Cuba about 20 years ago, and I always swore I'd go back there. We were beautiful women, some gorgeous women there, absolutely gorgeous women.
We can go, but you have to fly through Canada or something, and then they won't put a stamp in your passport. They just give you a piece of paper because We're not supposed to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. It's LBK. It's funny, Ed has 3 channels with all the same conversations. No, you're wrong there. Well, my other channel, Steady Eddie Live, is mainly a live channel, and we talk about other things. I mean, we talk about, here we do a live stream, we talk about travel, because this is mainly a travel channel. But on the other channel, Steady Eddie Live, we talk about a variety of other stuff. We talk about stuff like, is the 21st century a disappointment? You know, are we a soft touch country for letting so many dingy people in? The other day we talked about wongas. You know, we talk about a variety. We talk about a variety of subjects. And as for my other channel, well, it's a little affair called Steady Eddie Music Box, and just, you know, something good could come out of it. So he's wrong there. Delboy is wrong there anyway. But nice to hear from you anyway. Let's see. Yeah, Thailand Bound. Do you watch Thailand Bound, Peter? He's a channel. He reads out the stories. You know, about
people. I watch his live streams.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Thailand Bound. That's why I'm going on a work permit. I think one day they will clamp down on all the YouTubers as they are working without work permits. It's like they did the guys they deported who were Scoob. Yeah. This is an issue. I mean, for anyone who thinks things are changing, new rules and restrictions are coming in all the time. Anyone who thinks that they have a buoyant YouTube channel, and I'm going to go out to Thailand and live there, and I'm going to live off my YouTube earnings, whatever. I mean, you're going to need a work permit sooner or later. You know, for all of this, it's. You've got to think very, very carefully. Clive says Bangkok Pat's videos are amazing. Yeah, I agree. He's very, very good, Bangkok Pat.
So just so you know, I just checked the Embassy of the Philippines, and it's required that you have a booster to enter there.
Yeah, absolutely. Not the one that you had last year, or a more up-to-date one.
It just says a booster.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Or you could take a test.
Yeah. I don't want to take any tests at airports. I really want to be done with that. Here's somebody here. LMFAO girl. Hi, Eddie. I miss you, Daddy. I believe this is the same young lady who has got, I'm not quite sure what her nationality is, but she's got a YouTube channel, and she is, dare I say, she is hot stuff. She makes some delightful little videos, and hi, Eddie, I miss you, Daddy. Oh, don't worry, honey bunch. You and me are going to be together pretty soon.
She's not the one called Icy, is she? The girl
no, Icy? She has a channel by this name, LMFAO girl.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. Bangkok Pat. Yeah, I do. Bangkok Pat is quality. It really, really is good. Gemini Star. Yeah, absolutely. And also I can give a shout out to another really, really quality channel. It's called Carl's Thailand. He's actually been on, I've actually interviewed him on this, but he's a guy, he lives in Pattaya, but he goes adventure trekking throughout Thailand. He climbs mountains and all this stuff. He does some awesome stuff. Check out Carl's Thailand. She's being saucy here, David. Who's the cowboy?
You'll see me when I get there. The only guy I kind of don't like is that chocolate man.
Who's that?
Chocolate man in Thailand.
I've never watched him.
He's that ex-vet American guy living in Pattaya with a girlfriend.
Yeah. I've never actually watched it. I never watched it. I can't say I've watched him. Let's see. Martin Wright, I have to say, one happy hair Peter, hot Cambodian girl was the best day of my life. Good for you, mate. Anyway, good for you. Who's this? Macadog. Non-pen, get bombed on a weed milkshake, then whatever. You naughty boy. Yeah, Mark Hanley. I'm doing a documentary for Channel 4 next year in Gambia. It's called Exposing Wongas. I fear, Mark, that you might be too late. They might be all gone by then.
Are the women Wongers too, or Wongas?
Yeah, this is a word that I came up with. some years ago. I mean, many who go looking for young birds, are referred to as mongers. Well, I thought I'd do the feminine equivalent, which is wongers, and it seems to have caught on anyway. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay. Clive says the tiger reckons Bangkok will be underwater in 80 years. Get those water wings on and keep mongering. Okay. Dave, I want to ask you something because you're involved in the space race, obviously. Your past employment. Just briefly, what do you think the chances are of us going to the moon tomorrow? The spaceship going to the moon tomorrow.
Well, the Chinese will beat us there.
You think so? Yeah.
They've already got the plans, but yeah, you talking about the UK or the US? The US.
No, the US, obviously.
The US is already committed to going by 2030. We tried to launch the rocket on Monday, but we had an issue. So,
but didn't they say tomorrow it's going to take off?
It's a chance. Yeah, that was the next window.
Yeah, it's a chance. I don't know if I discussed this the other night on the Steady Eddie live channel. And people always get involved. We've got a great little community there, and people do get involved in it. And it was the question, the moon landings, real or fake? Well, I think they were real, personally, but you still get people out there who insist that they were fake for all of these reasons.
Flat Earth.
But the thing is, Dave, it's taken 50 years to return to the moon again. 50 years. And I personally think, why is it taking 50 years? But I personally think that the answer is somewhere between we didn't realize how expensive it was going to be, and the other one is, and is it worth it? It's the answer is somewhere between those things, really.
ROI, return on investment. It costs too much now. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Basically, what we're doing it again for is to beat the Chinese.
Yeah.
The original one was to beat the Russians, which we did.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, Mark Oleg, who often appears in the chat, I think he may be here tonight. I haven't seen him, but Mark is a keen science fiction fan, and he loves the scientific world. And he was saying he suggested that we needed to get there before the Russians did. But at the end of the day, we were all brought up on science fiction. Brought up on science fiction movies, and didn't we all think that come the 21st century, we were all going to have our own personal spaceships? And
even one better than that. Look at the Concorde.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was always a fan of the Concorde. They designed that aircraft 60 years ago.
I know, it was 1960s technology,
and we can't even do it now.
Yeah, well, this is what I mentioned the other night. I mean, anyone who thinks that the moon landing didn't really happen, it's too far-fetched. Wait a minute, in 1969 we had Concorde. I mean, if you could develop something as advanced as that, surely you can land a tin can on the moon. But,
I worked for NASA for 15 years, and I actually got to hold a piece of original moon rock.
Yeah. Really, that sounds fantastic. Well, I can. My answer to that, Dave, is that I once worked maintaining the runways at Heathrow Airport, driving a dumper truck along there of a night time, and I've actually been held up at the traffic lights by Concorde.
Oh,
when it was coming in late at night, I've actually been held up at the traffic lights by Concorde. So that's my claims of fame, anyway.
Fantastic aircraft. I got so close to flying it once.
Yeah. Looks amazing. I lived in Hounslow West, which is close to Heathrow Airport. And Jesus, when that came over the house,
I got to see it a couple times at JFK when it was there. I saw it take off out of JFK one time.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, now let me see now. Gareth Hunt. Gareth Hunt. Ed, can you get into Thailand now without the jab?
Yeah, you just have to have a test.
But I mean, but what if the test fails?
then you're not getting in.
Okay, so at least you've thrown all that quarantine out of the door, then, haven't they? You know,
yeah, they lifted the requirement for vaccination. It's just you have to have the test.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Okay, I'm just going to say hello to Mark Hollick. Hello, Mark. So far, we agree to disagree on the moon landings and the flat Earth. But no, I agree with Mark on the moon landings. It really, really, really happens. I mean, I think it's a bit. Mark came out with the really good suggestion that all the conspiracy theories about the moon landing, they all originated really from that movie Capricorn 1. Because nobody lived. I mean, all the conspiracy theories started around the time of that wonderful movie in the late 70s. Okay, so let me see. As the riverboat, Owen says, as the riverboat from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh stopped. Only bus, I think.
Probably not till tourism picks up again.
Yeah, absolutely. But I seem to recall, a few years ago, it would take about 8 hours to get from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh, whereas now you can get there in about 5 hours, 5.5. They have improved the roads. They have improved the roads quite a lot. Let me see. David Coleman, thanks for the shout out, Eddie. I also spent time in the desert in Israel. Good for you, mate. That one guy, thanks for that little $2 super chat. I arrived Halloween doing Ladyboy costume, soy 6. Good for you, mate. Whatever floats your boat, whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, I'm just going to put this. You want to know about the Philippines. To get in the Philippines, you must be fully vaccinated, including booster, and you must get a Philippine. That's another thing. Yeah, it's mandatory. A Philippine health pass. It's mandatory. If you're not at the vaccine, you need to be locked up for 5 days. So, so it hasn't really gone away. Have you been to the Philippines at all, David?
Oh, I went there 22 years ago now, but I didn't have the greatest time there. But also, I was in the wrong area. I mean, a guy got murdered in our hotel, and it wasn't a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I was in Metro Manila.
I've been to the Philippines twice. First time was almost 20 years ago, and I actually felt that was quite an unsafe country at the time. There was, a lot of.
We talked about that before. I'm just telling you that I feel uneasy. You always have to be looking over your shoulder there.
Yeah.
In Thailand, you don't have to do that.
That's very, very true. It's very, very true. I mean, my second visit was about 3 years ago, and I really, really liked it. I liked it a lot better. I went to Manila and other places, but there's definitely, how can we put it? In terms of street harassment, the Philippines is a different kettle of fish. You will see a level of aggression from some of the street salesmen in the Philippines that you won't necessarily see in Thailand.
Well, one place that I went to once a long time ago that I'm willing to give another try again now is Korea.
Korea?
Yeah. I went in 2008. I didn't find it that thrilling, but I'm willing to give it another try.
Yeah. I've never made it there. I never really made it there. Okay. Thailand found. Ed, what's the squeaky door on the pork pie situation? Well, I'll tell you what. Let me see now. Let me see. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. What have we got here? Thailand bound. Super sticker, a £5 super sticker. Thank you for that, Thailand bound. Thank you. That's Peter. It was a wonderful channel. Peter, Thailand bound has been a success story during the pandemic because his channel has gained ground better than anyone else has. Really. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that anyway, Peter. Let me see. Who's this? I may as well put this on. Anyone, whatever. He's talking about the person who's going to be our prime minister. Have you seen it, Liz Truss? Have you?
Has that been decided already?
No, I mean she's miles ahead in the polls. She's miles and miles ahead. But that's by about Monday. She probably will be our.
Isn't she
funny enough, I don't think you two like me talking about that simply because. You're not supposed to talk about it when an election's going on. Because in case you haven't come, so we'll get off that subject. We'll get off that subject.
I like the other guy better, if you ask me personally.
Really? Oh, I don't know. I think. I mean, really, it's and we do talk about this. I know I keep mentioning the other channel, Steady Eddie Live, but we do talk about this. I think that the best prime minister is one that we'll never have, and that's Nigel Farage. the outspoken guy. I think he would wipe the floor with a lot of them personally, but that's just my opinion. David Heisenberg, what is it like in Havana, Cuba? What is the girls like? I saw on YouTube that to change the US dollar is better on the street, not in bank. It says you get about 4 times more. Well, I don't know. I've lost track. Lost track with that one. I lost track with that one. I'll be careful about changing anything on the street personally.
From what I've seen of Havana, it's real nice in that touristy area, but you go 2 blocks away and it gets pretty scary quickly.
Yeah. Oh, they do harass you. I mean, they will follow you and strike up a conversation with you, and it does get on your nerves after a while. Macadog, forget about Cambodia. Too expensive and dangerous now. Town is a lot better. Okay, Dave. Macadog, cancel your Cambodia.
No,
I'm not either. Cats and good coffee. Carry on, no worries. If you do not carry it with you, they will perform the PCR on a. I don't even like that phrase PCR. I don't want to hear anything of PCR or AT. I don't want to hear about any of that ever again. They will probably pay more on a proximate. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see. I'm just going to skip through this. Yeah, William Lynn. We stayed at the Royal Paradise Hotel at Patong, Phuket 3 years ago. It's a nice place. The rooms are good with great views and breakfast fine. Apparently much cheaper at the moment.
I didn't do the breakfast. Yeah, for that rate, I don't get the breakfast, but who cares? Who wants it?
Oh, I can't get up for breakfast anyway. I can't get up. Mark Olin, Eddie has 3 channels, just like the telly did back in the 1960s. I do have 3 channels. My third channel is a non-copyrighted music channel. You never know. You never know. I mean, it's right now, it's not too much, but it might just take off. But the second channel, Steady Eddie Live, is the one I love. The live streams that we do there, because we're not just talking about travel. Travel is one subject. Whereas on Steady Eddie Live, we talk about a lot of different subjects. So I'm really enjoying that one right now. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Here's a question for you, Ed.
Yeah.
Do you try at all to speak any Thai when you're out there?
I'm actually, to be honest with you, David, I must admit, I don't really. I struggle to say, choky crap or swati crap or whatever. I don't really do it. The only time that I've tried to speak, I did when I went to Italy. I started learning Italian many years ago, and I found that was quite easy to pick up. But then the problem with Italian, it's not much use anywhere outside of Italy. I tried to learn Spanish before going to South America. I traveled around South America and Central America. But what I found, I thought I'd learned some good phrases, but whenever I spoke to the people, they'd look at me and say, "Okay, maybe it's because of my funny accent. I have a funny accent, you see. So I never really spoke Thai.
I try and exclusively speak Thai when I'm over there. I get used to it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. That sounds great. I mean, it's probably better if you speak Thai, because you less chance of getting ripped off. When they talk to each other, you want to know what they're saying. I mean, a couple of massage girls I knew, they were having words about me, and I wanted to know what they were saying. But that's another story.
You'll probably hear the word "pompui."
Yeah,
that means a little bit overweight.
Yeah, I've probably heard that. Yeah. Here's an important, David Danish Bacon, Carl's Thailand and Bangkok Pat. Carl's Thailand and Bangkok Pat is fantastic content. If they did manga videos too, they would triple there. So I don't think they want to do manga. They do great videos as they are. Okay, but it is the case with YouTube that images of scantily clad girls, they're the ones that get the viewing figures. But I really totally admire Carl's Thailand and Bangkok Pat, because they are doing just, if you want to go outside of the the mongering situation. They are the perfect channels to watch. Very, very informative. So I'd take my hat off to the pair of them if I had a hat. Okay.
Bangkok Hat doesn't seem like the monger to me.
Mark Hanley, do more wrong than a 12-hour live drunk earlier. That's he fell asleep twice, 2 hours. Mark, sorry, do more wrong or be more wrong, I think he means. He's a young man of about 31, 32, and he goes out to Thailand for about half the year. He was stuck there during the lockdown, and he's if you think I get drunk on screen, you want to see what he's like. But he's a really decent young man anyway, and good for him anyway. He's gone over 1,000 subs now, and a lot of his stuff is really entertaining. Yeah, Mark Alex says Eddie should trademark Wongers. I should trademark mark that one, the Wongers. And another one, which there are some people out there, David, who they use my phrases and it sort of catches on. When the Omicron variant started last year, I was the one who started calling it the onion variant, and that really caught on. Before I knew it, so many of them I heard calling it the onion variant. You know.
Huh.
Oh, let me see. Okay. Who's this? Let's see. Okay. Let me see now. Let me have a little look. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, am I up to date on the chat? Sorry about this one. Well behind, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. We've got a question coming up pretty soon anyway. Let's see. Let's see if I can just go through here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, David. I'm going to do at the moment. It's squeaky door time. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do for the moment. Just while I'm away, do this. That looks so retro now when I see that, especially that last bit with me staring at the camera, mean and moody. I got to update that video next time. Okay, so we'll get that off the screen. Right. So what it is, as I keep mentioning, I don't keep plugging my other channel, but I really am enjoying the Steady Eddie live channel. Mondays and Tuesdays, 10 o'clock. We talk about a variety of different subjects, and the guys, it's such a good community. It really is. What I always say, Monday and Tuesday at 10 o'clock at night. What the hell's going on late nights? Not a great deal. I know that you're in the afternoon there, David, but somebody asked a question the other night, and I didn't really give it the attention it deserved. But it is a good question. It's a good question. I decided to save it for this channel. Simply because it's travel related. And how can I phrase this? Something like this. can't remember who asked this question. Okay. And being a guy who's traveled an awful lot, I'm sure you'll be able to have a lot to say about this one. Okay, so this is the question. Someone asked the question, something like this the other night, and it's a good one. So let's join me on this question. The big question is, what was the safest, least safe place? Or what was the safest or least safe place you ever visited? Would you like to answer that one, Dave?
Well, I mean, I've never had a problem. I've been to 52 countries.
Yeah.
I got pickpocketed in Madrid, but I just set it up with a fake wallet to see how fast it would happen. And sure enough, I got pickpocketed in 2 minutes, but I've never had a problem anywhere I went.
Yeah. I must admit, I've never had a problem. In terms of the least safe place, funnily enough, I'm tempted to say the first time that I visited the Philippines. I hadn't traveled to that many countries up to that point. I've been to Thailand, I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Vietnam. But when I went to the Philippines, I did meet some people, meet expats who knew the country well, and when I had a little bit of a backpack on me, some of the stories I heard, be careful, like when you're walking around a crowded place, you've got a bit of a gang culture. They'll surround you and put a knife in, to cut the straps off your back. And these people were people that you would actually listen to, not the armchair experts.
Well, I could say the safest would definitely be Japan or Singapore, Korea. Yeah. I've been to all those places. They're pretty damn safe.
Well, this is what somebody mentioned the other night, because a lot of people wanted to engage in this question, but I didn't really give it the attention it deserved. But I think it's worth talking about now. The safest or least safe place.
I mean, I consider Thailand pretty safe, but I mean, something can always happen. It's all about opportunity.
Yeah, somebody said McLaren, Anfield, okay. Wildcat 66, safest place, least safest place, Blackpool. I'd say Blackpool's quite an unsafe place. Bloody alcohol culture, drunken culture. Mark Alex says the stripper house was the safest. Well, we'll go with that one, mate. Why feels India very safe? And not necessarily. I've traveled through India, and it's... yes, it is, but it does appear to be a safe place when you're traveling around until you get hassled. And somehow some shady, raggedy Indian person will come out of nowhere and start. One raggedy Indian fella there, ran across the, excuse me, sir, you've got something in your ear, bang, and he tried to put his finger in my ear. Get away from me, get away. Apparently somebody said, well, I don't know what the hell was the idea, but. And then a couple of other fellas, a couple of other young fellas started touching me just on the street and started, get your bloody hands off me,
But those are two different things. We're talking about safe. You're talking about scams. There's scams in every country. Yeah. I went to India. I never felt unsafe there.
Yeah. I felt it. I'll tell you what. There was an incident when it was almost unsafe. It was almost unsafe there. I was staying in Kerala, and let me just drink my speckled hen first of all. Oh, it's bloody good. The return of an old favourite. Lovely stuff. Let me tell you of a moment in India which could have been disastrous. I was staying in a hotel in Kerala, and it had a balcony, and you go down these stone steps. It was in a beach. I can't remember the name of the beach resort. But what happened is that every night at 8:30, they had a power cut. They had a power cut there at 8:30 every night, and I got kind of used to this. And one night I was going out to the bars, and I left the hotel room. And I thought, I'm going to get out before this power cut comes along. And somehow I missed it. I got a couple of minutes on, bang, 8:30, a power cut came. And I got out to the hotel, and I closed the door, and I was walking along the balcony. Did this happen? No. Let me recall it again. I left just about a minute before 8:30. I got out of the hotel. I was walking down the balcony, and I was going down the dimly lit stairs, right? These stone steps. And that's when the power cut happened. That's when it happened. And all of a sudden, it was pitch black there. And I took a step and my foot missed it. And I literally felt myself going into thin air. I did for that split second. I didn't actually, I couldn't say anything. I didn't know where that next step was coming from. And I thought, my God, that could break me bloody neck here. So I mean that was a very, very unsafe moment. But I managed to grab the balcony and
I have one related to that. So when I went to Myanmar, they cut the power there at night to sell it to China.
Yeah.
And so you're just there at middle, 8 o'clock at night, boom, the power goes out, and there's all these generators out in the street, and everybody switches over, like they've had a little restaurant, they switch on to their generator, but you're still walking around in darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's power cuts, but at least this power cut in India was very, very reliable. But I got it a couple of minutes too late, and I must admit that probably no more than a couple of seconds when I felt myself stepping into thin air down those stone steps. That was disturbing. I mean, because the thing is, life's fragile. I know people. Funny enough, I seem to recall very, very shortly before that. I know someone who died falling down steps. Life is very, very fragile. The human body is fragile. So it was it disturbed me a bit. Anyway, let's just have a little look at the chat. Mark Oleg, a bank is a safe place. No, well, it can be. I mean, unless you're in the middle of a robbery. What was that Woody Allen movie? Take the money and run, where he's holding up a bank, and then another group of armed robbers come in as well, saying, "Wait a minute, we're robbing this place. Well, we got here before you did. It's probably not so safe." Let me see. Who's this? David Coleman. I hope they're playing this music when I have my first dirty massage in Pattaya. A lot of people think the music that I just played is, soft porn. It reminds me of a 70s porn movie. Let me see. Bottle Baby, Cambodian, including Phnom Penh. Yeah, Bottle Baby is he saying? Are you saying it's safe or unsafe? Bottle Baby.
I've had lots of people tell me Cambodia is very unsafe, but I've never had any trouble.
Yeah, me too. I think with Cambodia, Phnom Penh, there's a certain drag along the main riverfront. When it gets busy with traffic, if you're in a tuk-tuk, then you make sure that you've got your valuables, secure, because those motorcyclists, those motorbike thieves will race past and grab whatever you've got. I've seen it happen. I have seen that happen. Gemini Star, India's safe. You've never been to India then. Okay.
Well,
let's see. Why fools? Kerala is safest place in India. Yeah, Kerala is quite safe. Definitely. Here we go. Mark Hanley, Everton away and Millwall, least safest. Okay. I don't know. Do you ever follow any football, David?
No.
I don't. Okay, let's see. Mark Ollie, Eddie, you need to drink a can of Brewmeister snake venom on the channel sometime. I'll try and get hold of that. It costs a lot of money, that does. We'll see about that. But apparently the percentages of that one, that really would send me dual alley. This speckled hen, I wouldn't have this all the time because it's very, very high in calories, but it's a nice ale. Lovely stuff. Let me see, what do we got? Who says this? Mark Hanley says Sri Lanka the safest. I've heard some really good reports about that place.
Wasn't recently.
Yeah. Well, I know there's some sort of thing happening there, which right now at this moment in time.
Ousting the president.
Sean the Prawn, Mexico is safe. Yeah, it seemed that way to me. I went to Mexico, and it did seem that way to me. Have you been there, David?
Many times, but you won't catch me going there.
Really, really?
Tijuana is very unsafe. Lara
Yeah,
Cartel, Juarez, Puerto
yeah,
Vallarta, a
yeah,
lot of murders.
yeah. Well, I've heard that. I went to the touristy areas of Cancun and Playa del Carmen and
Well,
Chichen.
Cancun is like an enclave. They don't even let the Mexican citizens in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. David Coleman says the safest place on the planet is Japan. I've never made it there, but after what Dave told us earlier about, they've got the high rates of the antivirus. I don't think I'll be going there anytime soon. Mark Hanley, Colombia's safe. I've travelled through Colombia,
It is now.
I didn't have a problem there, but it's the kind of place, Colombia. Don't push your luck. I mean, you hear all the horror stories of it, and then you go there and you think to yourself, no, it seems fairly safe, but don't push it. I mean, all of these, horror stories you hear, these murders, they're all just statistics until, of course, it happens to you personally. So Colombia is a place where it's reasonably safe, but don't push your luck. Capo says, inside Lisa's neck is nobody goes there. Okay, fine, thank you. They do. The Gambian fellas go there. Cats and good coffee. Many Westerners go to Colombia, chasing Colombian girls, and end up dead to rob. No joking. Okay. Let me see. Why Greece very safe, but not part of Athens. Yeah, well, Athens is a big city. I've been in a couple of those wonderful Greek islands. I mean, beautiful stuff. I was in Athens, but when I was in Athens last year, I stayed in a nice little, I can't even remember what the area is called, a really great little place in Athens where everything I needed was in walking distance. So it didn't feel like I was in a city, but Greece, lovely place. Jay East, the side of driving in Thailand, totally safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thailand's worst in the world for road murders.
Absolutely. Mark Olive, a safe in a bank is a safe place. That's safe. That's safe. Is this true? Sean the Prawn, Philadelphia is safe. Is that true?
I mean, all those cities, each city in the States has its place. You can always find trouble no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
Chicago, South Side, Philly, South Side, New York, the Bronx. You pick the place you want to go. You'll find the trouble.
Wow. Anyway, Popcorn, the carpets in the Swan Inn must be the least safe place in the world. Do you know what, David? I'm never going to live this down. I don't know if you ever seen the video early this year where I left Pattaya. I went to I traveled to Bangkok, and my intention was to stay at the Royal Ivory Hotel in Bangkok, only to find it closed. And then I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And then a guy appeared out of nowhere and he says, come to my hotel here, a little hotel around the corner. And it was called the Swan Inn, and it was an absolute dive. But it was cheap and
that place was nasty. I watched that video.
Yeah. I'll never live it down. The reason I ended up at that place is simply because I couldn't be bothered to go anywhere else. But I'll never live that place down.
I do have a weird travel story I've never said on here that's kind of related to all this. We went to Turkey one time, coming over from, Kushadasi, Turkey, coming over from the island of Samos. This is a long time ago. 20 years ago, in the 90s, when I used to backpack around with a friend of mine. And a guy approached us getting off the boat saying, you want to come with me for a cheap, we were trying to get into this hostel and was so busy. A guy approached us and said, you want to go to my hotel, same as you. Yeah. And we went over there and nobody was in that hotel. And we ended up staying there for 3 nights. And they ended up everything was closed. We found out later that they had busted into the hotel and were running it illegally. The hotel was closed for the season, and some people just opened it up and we're renting rooms to people illegally.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any problems.
Yeah. Oh, very, very opportunistic. But I spent about 8 hours at Istanbul airport once on a stay over, and this big Turkish guy kept coming up to me. I'll take you to hotels. I'm not interested, mate. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Sorry, mate. I don't want any conversation, because this is what they're like. They'll try and strike up a conversation and banter with you." But I owned a place in Turkey for many, many years in the Fethi area, which is one of the most beautiful areas I've ever seen anywhere. It's not the right place for me, but I got used to the Turks that I knew in the Fethi area, and they were very, very good people. You got a few idiots in there, but they were generally very, very good people. The Turkish guys were really good. But I went to stay in Istanbul once, and I found they were totally, totally different. If you're walking around that, those mosques, the blue mosque, and Jesus, these bastards will follow you, and there's some of the they would approach you on the street. "Hi, my friend, where are you from?" I just got that way, saying, "Look, mate, just get out of my sight." Some really, really, and because they will try and lead you into a tourist trap, and you will be stung for mega amounts of money.
See, here's my secret way I've been using for years to deal with that. Don't speak English. Respond to them in Russian, and they leave you alone.
Really? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds great advice.
Learn to speak Russian.
Yeah, that's great advice, Dave. You're miles ahead of me there, but good for you. Let's see. Sabi in space. I got mugged in Cebu. Now, I went to Cebu in the Philippines many years ago. I didn't think that was very safe. I got mugged in Cebu on a sidewalk by a bunch of ladies walking single file on the sidewalk, hiding their numbers. Oh, well.
They'll do that to you in Pattaya, the lady boys.
Yeah, I heard there was one hotel that I stayed in Pattaya some years ago, and when I was in the lift going to my hotel room, there was this prominent notice there, and it said, warning to tourists, there is a group of ladyboys going around on motorbikes, and they will they will surround you, and they have this kind of drug on their nipples.
Yeah.
And they will entice you to lick it, and you will end up being doped, and then they will rob you. So now most of the ladyboys seem, but I mean, so I think the model of the story, if you meet a ladyboy, who's offering a titty, politely decline, you know what I mean?
Or the other scam is that I played along with one time because I heard about it and wanted to check it out. One will approach you down at the end of Walking Street, or say, "Hey, boom, boom, come with me, come my room, real cheap price." What happens is, and I went with one of them one time until it got to the point where I needed to get out. They'll take you down a couple alleys into this area, and then 5 of them will come out and rob you.
Jesus. That's what they call the honey trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. So I've never, whenever I met girls in Pattaya or whatever, I'd meet them in the bars, because in Cambodia, because the thing is, the bar knows these girls. If the bar are familiar with these girls, so any comeback, you've always got a comeback. Any problems, you can always come back to the bar. And whatever.
That depends, because it depends how much they rip you off for, because if they get several $1,000s, they ain't going back to that bar.
Yeah. I remember once in Vietnam, when we first went to Vietnam about 20 years ago, I was in a bar in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, and I really liked the place. And I remember going into a bar one night, and there was really, really good looking Vietnamese girl behind the bar. There was a couple of hawkers, working girls, and they looked as rough as hell. They looked really, really rough. And not many people in the bar. I sat down, I had a beer, and there was this young Norwegian fella. And within a couple of minutes, I sussed out he was having a terrible, terrible altercation with these working women, okay? And the script is that he slammed his beer down, he was, whatever, and they were just trying best to ignore him, but he was definitely angry with some. Apparently, he'd been with one of these women the night before, and she'd robbed him for a significant amount of money. And he said, look, my friend, those girls, you're interested in those girls. They will rob you. They robbed me last night. They robbed me last night. He didn't say how much they robbed him for, but he was very, very upset about it. So it was clearly quite a lot of money. But you just make damn sure that you don't get robbed. I've never been robbed in my hotel room simply because I cover my tracks, so to speak.
That comment that guy just made about Cape Town, that's true.
Yeah.
Cape Town is insanely dangerous. I went there and I walked that road he's talking about, and I got back to the hotel and the doorman told me I should have won the lottery. I had a better chance.
Yeah, well, South Africa is notoriously unsafe, isn't it? Apparently, it's amazing. I know that you've been there and you really, really liked it there. But is it worth going for any other reason? I mean, is it what is good about Cape Town? What is really
not Cape Town, but it's just a beautiful country. If you put aside all the politics and get aside from all the statistics and keep your wits about you, I've been there 3 times.
Yeah,
the wine there, the countryside, it's fantastic.
Yeah, really, yeah. Did you do any safaris or anything?
Every time I was there.
Yeah, wonderful, yeah. Okay, well, sounds really, really amazing. Sounds really amazing, but unsafe walking. What is Greenpoint Road? What is that road exactly?
There's just an area down by the Victoria and Albert Quay or whatever they call it down there. That whole area of the downtown Cape can be very dangerous at night.
Yeah.
A lot of robbers, muggers, all that stuff.
No, I don't think. I mean, it makes you think, really. I mean, the wonderful thing about Southeast Asia, it is generally a very, very safe place, isn't it? I mean, especially Thailand and even Cambodia, providing you don't walk around any dodgy areas of a night time. You keep your wits. It's generally a very, very safe part of the world.
As I've said, you can find a problem anywhere you go, but if you're wise like you and me, you just stay out of it.
Okay. Gary Hunt, London in this day and age is very unsafe. Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, dreadful happen. Well, in all British cities, dreadful things, are happening, and it looks like it's going to be. We're going to talk about more about this on the Steady Eddie live channel. I plugged this with about 500 times. We talked about is Britain a soft touch country, letting all the dingy people in and looking after them and giving them the stuff that other countries won't give them. I mean, the reports are that more and more Albanians are coming over there now, and they've got some bad intentions.
Well, how about the U.S.? I mean, look what just happened. We denied entry that Jokovic or whatever, tennis, number 1 tennis player, he couldn't come in and play because he's not vaccinated. Yet we've let in hundreds of thousands of unvaccinated, untested immigrants.
Yeah. Well, oh well. Anyway.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about politics.
No. Phil Roberts, I got punched in the face by a ladyboy outside Nana Plaza at my first ever night in Thailand. What a way to start. Ended up running for my life while she tried to take a stiletto off. Bangkok is still very safe. Okay. But what were you doing? Why did the ladyboy punch you in the face, Phil? Why? But you must have been doing something that you shouldn't have been doing.
I think he grabbed the wrong part.
Oh, God almighty. God almighty. Jeez, Cape Town, Africa, not safe. I don't think I'll be going there. Let's see, Bottle Baby, Cambodia was unsafe back in 2002 when I was there. I think it's probably changed a lot because there were reports, weren't there, in the 1990s. I did hear some bad reports. Even some expats told me you walk around at night time and you get gangs. You get Cambodian lads going around at the night time on motorbikes, targeting the vulnerable individual, and hand over your money or we'll kill you.
Oh, yeah, that was after the Pol Pot era.
Yeah. Okay, Nick Ross, Lagos, Nigeria, not safe at any time. Okay. Got no problems with them with bloody emails.
Ain't going there.
A couple of months ago, I got a friend's request on Facebook from somebody called Katie, a voluptuous Texan girl called Katie. It then started to tell me she was short of money and needed help. It didn't take a genius to figure out. There was all, if you look at her Facebook profile, there was all these Africans on there. It was a bloody African masquerade. Oh, God almighty. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Cats and go coffee. In some South American countries, people kill you just to steal your trainers. Well, don't wear expensive trainers. I traveled around South America, Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, the Amazon, and I loved it absolutely. Funny enough, the one place where I felt a little bit unsafe, or certainly, could easily be a victim of a robbery, was Ecuador. Now, if you travel to South America, if you look at the Lonely Planet Guide, as I used to look at in those days, you will see that there's this thing you've got to be wary of in South America. I'm not saying it's unique to South America, but what happens if you got your backpack on, you're walking around in the daytime, then what happens in a crowded place? Someone will come along and bang, they will splash something on your back or your shoulder. It could be a liquid, it could be dog muck, it could be horrible, slimy liquid, whatever. And what happens then is that a second later, some people will appear out of nowhere offering to clean you down. And then one of them will then grab hold of your backpack and disappear down an alleyway, yeah? Now, I heard this a lot in the Lonely Planet Guide. And I was obviously wary of it in all the places that I went to, Brazil and everywhere. I never had a problem. But funny enough, I was walking around Quito in Ecuador on a Saturday afternoon. And Quito was a beautiful city, lovely, churches and historical built, beautiful city. I was walking through Quito on a Saturday afternoon, and the next minute, bang, it splashed all down my shirt. I remember the advice from the Lonely Planet Guide. What I did is I didn't stop. I just kept moving. I grabbed tight on my back and I kept moving. I know there was all kind of horrible liquid pouring down my back and on my shorts, but I just kept moving. So I crossed the road, and then these women, and I seem to recall they had a pram with them, a baby in a pram. They crossed the road, followed me, and said something. But I just kept moving, ignored, just away. Because the thing is, if you're foolish enough to stop and try and clean yourself up, that's it. Your backpack's going to be gone. So I thank the Lonely Planet Guide for that. Their wisdom helped save me from losing my backpack. Funnily enough, with regards to South America, with regards to South America, I was looking on the internet, a while later after my tour, and somebody mentioned something about everything's dangerous in South America and all that. And this couple said that they'd traveled all around South America and they'd never ever had a problem and all that, except for one place where they had their bag slashed and a laptop or an iPad stolen out of their bag while they were on a bus, a crowded bus. And funnily enough, that was the same place, Quito in Ecuador. So I think maybe that's a place where you do have to watch out for.
Well, we saw a girl in Madrid in the train station with a backpack on, and the guy walked up behind her, opened the two zippers up without her even knowing, and took all her wallet and everything out of the backpack. She had no clue.
That's it. Funny enough, you can get that in Bangkok as well. You can, because I've seen it. If you a backpack, and this big Thai fella had unzipped this fella's backpack and tried to steal it, and they clocked him, and then it become a bit of an altercation. But I did actually say it. And the answer is, if you're going to walk around with a backpack, have it in the front of your body. Have it in back, keep hold of it at all times, and be wary of strangers. Let's see. McLaren F1 race. I wouldn't walk around part of Johannesburg. Half my family lived there once. Don't sound very nice. Bit notorious, that place, isn't it?
That's a very dangerous place.
Let's see. Nick Ross. Sana'a, North Yemen might not be safe. Okay.
Civil War.
Nick, Thailand. Have I been here too long? Nick Day, Thailand. Have I been too long? I think he's mimicking maybe something I said. What's considered safe? Everywhere there's problems sometimes. It's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not just that. It's also common sense. Some people have got no common sense. When I travel, and here we go again, so South America again. When I was embarking on my South American journey, somebody told me, watch out for that place, Bolivia. I was talking to a group of lads who went there, and they had their luggage stolen 6 times while they were there, right? Well, I went to Bolivia. I spent a month traveling around Bolivia, and I never had my luggage stolen once. So I don't know what all this group of lads did, you know.
Well, like we said, Japan is safe. It's got its scams. If you go into that Shinjuku, that place right there, their red light district, there's African guys that'll ask you to go into this bar. People go in there and they get a bill for $4,000. And the rule thing is, why would you follow anybody asking you to go to a bar?
No, you wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Definitely not. I mean, Mark, Eddie was at the Acropolis. Yeah, I went to the Acropolis in Greece, and it was beautiful. You know, it was lovely, lovely, lovely. But Mark liked that video. So what else we were going to say? Yeah, following people who take to a bar. When I was in Romania quite recently, I was having a gyros or a heros or whatever it was in Bucharest, and this blonde Romanian girl approached me and said, you know, you come to a bar, you do this, that, and the other. We'll get you a free drink inside. And I said, no, thanks. I'm a bit drunk. I'm going back to my hotel room. I know that some of the guys would have fallen for this, but that was a honey trap. You go into a bar and you get scammed. You get scammed. You know what I mean? So
we did it back in the 90s. We did a honey scam. Me and my buddy in Greece, in Athens, we did that thing where the guy said, come to this bar, ladies. And we followed him in there because we knew what was going to happen. We just knew to get out. And we sat down, and immediately these 2 women wanted to sit at the table. And we said, no, thanks, we're leaving.
Yeah.
If they would have sat down, you would have got a bill for $1,000 for a drink.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I've never been caught in a tourist trap. I've never allowed myself to. I'll tell you something. We mentioned Istanbul earlier. I've heard some terrible things about that. I was wandering through Istanbul, and this Turkish guy said, you know, there was a sign outside. No, Istanbul was a Muslim country. There was a sign that says, you know, go-go bar. I mean, it's probably not a proper go-go, but they probably don't have that such. I've seen a belly dancer in Turkey, but that's about it. But the guy said, you know, come into this bar here, and a little pathway leading to the bar. And I said, what's the script there? I said, how much is the beer? And he told me the price of the beer. Sounded reasonably enough. I said, is there any entrance fee or exit fee? He said, no, it's okay, mate, it's okay. But he was over enthusiastic, and you've got to use your own adult judgment. He was very, very keen to get me inside. So I said, okay, so if I go in there and buy one drink, I pay for the drink, and then I come out again, what's the problem? Yeah, sure, sir. So he thought he had one. I walked to the pathway to the entrance, and the door opened, and it was an elevator. It was an elevator to take you to the bar. And I said, no way, man. Never, ever go into any bar which involves an elevator, because you try and get out of there in a hurry if things go pear-shaped, and you've got problems. You've got problems. No chance. No way. Let me see.
8 out of the 10 bars in Tokyo involve elevators.
Yeah. Never take an elevator to a bar, because, you know, never. No chance. No chance. Anyway, Gary Hunt, Detroit is unsafe. Okay. Who's this? Bum no on Philly. Okay. Macadog, I got robbed $200 in non-pen massage shop in July. Be extremely careful there. Well,
robbed or swindled?
You know, he's using the word robbed. I mean, non-pen is not really Cambodia isn't really a good place for massages anyway. You do get some. I've never bothered with them there, because they're not the full frontal, no holds barred kind of massages that you get in Pattaya or Bangkok.
You can get the legitimate ones there if you want one. I've had legitimate ones there.
Yeah,
and they're good.
Yeah, Mark, every city can be dangerous in the US. Absolutely, same as England, mate. Same as England. Okay, so we've been over nearly 2 hours now. It's been a good little old chat. Let's see. So we're all we're all heading into time. So you've got how many days? Is it a month, 5 weeks, something like that?
32 days.
32 days. So you've got basically a month to go before you're heading out there, and you can't wait. Have you actually, David? Have you booked flights and hotels and all this kind of stuff? Have you done a lot of
main
that?
flight, I always book my main flight and just fill and everything there. I've got all my hotels. Remember, I have my condo there. So I'm spending half the time at my condo and half the time on the road.
Yeah.
I've got my flight to Phuket, my flight coming out of Cambodia. The only thing I haven't decided is I might go up to Chiang Mai for 2 or 3 nights if I'm bored.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you go to Chiang Mai for 2 or 3 nights, then you'll be really, really bored. No, I didn't mean that.
Picking up.
Yeah, I've been to Chiang Mai a few times.
I love it.
Bobby Crush says, I was mugged in Barcelona. They got €5 a condom and half a packet of Rennies. So good for them. Do you know something? I don't like talking about places that I've never been to. And I've never actually been to Barcelona. But that is one of the most notorious places in Europe for robberies and street robberies. And I know I think I've said this before, but a good friend of mine was going out to Barcelona with his missus. And, he was so looking forward to it. And he was just so excited about it. He was going there for the weekend. And I thought, shall I tell him what I've heard? And I thought, no, because I don't appear to be an armchair expert. I don't like telling people about places that I personally have never been to. But I had heard bad things about Barcelona. And I deliberately didn't tell him what I'd heard. And you've guessed it, he went there and he got robbed. They robbed £1,000 gold chain from around his neck in the street.
Well, I've been to Barcelona and I think it's awesome there. The food's great. You can't scare me from going there. I mean, just use your wits with all these places.
Yeah. I mean, a gold chain around your neck. I mean, what's the point? I wouldn't wear one.
Don't wear it.
No, I wouldn't wear one. Okay, here we go. Esan man is here. Who's being locked up in police cells abroad? I've been locked up on Dubai and Papua New Guinea. Large consumption of alcohol was involved in both the gates. When you say abroad, Esan man, there's Wales. Does Wales count for that as well? Okay. Esan man is a gold mine of information. He really has some great. He lives in Thailand and he has some amazing information. I'm gonna skip through this anyway. I'm just gonna say, Alistair Taylor, thank you for that super chat. Cheers, Ed. Okay, thank you for that. Australian, $14.99 Australian dollars. Thank you for that, mate. Okay. Nick Ross, but the girls are stunning in Cape Town. Worth the risk. I don't know. I think
we went to a love hotel in Cape Town.
Yeah. Really, yeah, wonderful ladies.
I agree with what he has to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're mostly imports.
Yeah. The girls are stunning. I've seen some beautiful. I've seen some blonde South African girls, absolutely stunning ladies there. But I don't think I'd be taking a risk of that. At my age, I'm 60 now. I just want a nice, easy, relaxed life. You know what I mean? I mean, when I go for a dirty massage in Pattaya and I leave, I can leave there in total safety, and I can go and have a nice dinner and a couple of beers and go back to the hotel and sleep and all that. Nick Ross, he's got some good information. Like the girls in Venezuela, I never went there. Just gorgeous girls everywhere, but be careful, mega dangerous, but worth it. Okay, fine. Why are white fools? Lisa is a Wonga. We all know this. So what's new? Jay East. I was watching a live stream, wandering Nevada town, and he had two girls approach him in Cartagena, Colombia, beautiful place. While on stream, they put something in his drink. We all sort of called them out. Okay.
They'll do that in Thailand to you if you don't watch it. In Bangkok, they do that.
Yeah. I have heard about this. It's never ever happened to me.
It happened to me.
Yeah, really.
Somebody put that yaba in one of my drinks at a club one time, and I couldn't sleep for 3 days.
Jesus, was this Bangkok?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I went to I went to a club that was known to have like a lot of party people in there.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
had an open drink, and then I went to the toilet and I came back. It was a whiskey soda. And I went to the hotel and at 6 in the morning, was just running around in circles in the bed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm pleased to say it's never ever happened to me.
I mean, no harm done. They didn't rob me, but it was a club that was known to do that.
Yeah. Now, here's a point here. I'm going to make this point first of all because Nick Ross has a lot of information. This is the point that I want to make. Nick Ross, Ecuador, ugly girls, not worth it, dangerous, but don't shoot first. But don't shoot first and then rob you. Nigeria, shoot first and rob you while you lie down. Okay. No, do you know something? Ecuador, ugly girls. There are a lot of beautiful girls in Ecuador, but they are girls who are not necessarily, they're not girls who are not working girls or sort of thing. But do you know something? In Ecuador, you can go around the town centre, which is very, very historical, Quito, and they're beautiful and all that. But I've seen freelance girls in Ecuador, and my God, they are a beast. It seems all the fat girls, the fat, ugly ones, are the ones who end up as freelancers. I don't know why the hell that is, and who would want them.
Haven't you ever seen the pregnant ones in the go-go bars in Pattaya?
Oh, no, I don't want to see that.
There's always a pregnant one there wearing a tight skirt.
No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Jay East, I've heard in Vietnam, if you're walking down the sidewalk with your phone out, thieves or motems will come by and snatch it out of your hand if they can. So,
That's
yeah,
correct.
of course. There's a place in Vietnam called Vung Tau, and it has a popular expat community. And it has some bars, and also has some. It's got some beautiful, and I mean beautiful girls, really lovely ladies there. But if you walk around those dark streets of a night time, it's very, very notorious for Vietnamese on motorcycles who'll come up behind you and rob you, your watch or whatever other valuables that you've got. It is quite.
They do it in Thailand too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't, I try not to have any valuables, and if I do, then I try and make sure, that I look after them.
If you have a big iPhone, yeah, they'll rob it out of your hands.
David, I mean, I know. I mean, a big iPhone at the top of the range stuff nowadays could be as much as £1,500. Nowadays it could be maybe even $2,000. Now, last year, I was looking for a phone to buy, and I discussed this on this live stream. And I watched videos about iPhones. I thought, wow, they look lovely. They look really, really awesome. The fact is, if I'm going to be live streaming out of doors, thieves are not stupid. They know the difference between an expensive phone and a cheaper one. And I just didn't like the idea that I've got this very expensive iPhone, which is going to be a direct target for thieves. So give it a cheaper version, an Oppo Reno 4. David Heisenberg, if you're in Brixton, London, going down Coldar Road, the thing is in your car, you hope the traffic lights are green. As the petrol station, there are bars, etc., on the windows. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Britain's inner cities are bloody awful. Mark, look, I used to carry my wallet in my front pant pocket, so they couldn't lift it from the back pocket like they do. Yeah, absolutely. There's simple things like that, work wonders. Okay, let me see. I'm going to finish it because we've been on for over 2 hours now. Not a bad little old stream. We've talked about it. Do we think, Dave, that the this year, this peak season is going to be all the things that the last one wasn't?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be a good year.
You may not see every little shop open, but there's big changes going on to get stuff open right now.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this one up now because we've gone over 2 hours anyway. We've gone over 2 hours anyway, and it's been a good little old stream. Okay, now this is the main channel. We talked about travel stuff. A big thanks to Dave here. It was being our guest tonight. He's been a really, really good guest. Anyone like to ask Dave a question by any chance?
The cowboy.
Nick Ross. Nick Ross, I've even been mugged in London for a fake Rolex brought in Bangkok. Ended up chasing the buggers. Was with a Somali girl who's fought like a tiger. Okay. Okay, we're going to wrap this one up anyway. Capo 17 says, thanks, Dave. McLaren F1 says, cheers, Ed and Dave. Wildcat 66 says, good night, ladies. Oh, that's hilarious, that is. Mark Hanley says, cheers, lads. Bobby Crush says, Dave, do you have a milkman's hat? I'm sure
I'll get that on the list.
Gary Hunt, using your common sense is the best policy to keeping safe. Okay. And I think on that note, we will say good night. Also, there is David Mayer. Thanks to you both. Kipax. Thanks, guys. Top laugh. And let me say, and I think on that note, we'll say good night anyway, Dave. It's gone 2 hours. You've been a great guest anyway. I know that you're looking forward to your travels. Great information from you and everything. And well, we'll meet again. We'll meet again some sunny day anyway. Okay.
Yeah. Let me get to Thailand and maybe we'll get one going again.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Who's this? That one guy. Thank you for that super chat. Dave from 1 to 10. How's your? Oh, well, thanks for that anyway. Okay. Okay. Listen, I'm going to say good night anyway, Dave, and I'll say good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back on the Steady Eddie Live channel on Saturday night at 10 o'clock UK time. And in the meantime, everybody have a really, really great weekend. And we'll see you soon, okay? Thanks once again, Dave. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Good night. All the best anyway.